Rolling Stones, The Tomorrow Show, tomorrowshow.com. Tell a friend about us and check us out on iTunes, on demand, and at thetomorrowshow.com. Joining us now is Randall Emmett, who has produced over 100 films and TV shows, including End of Watch, Everest, Rambo, and Lone Survivor, and one of the biggest shows on Starz Network, Power. He's worked on films with Bruce Willis, Mark Wahlberg, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Sylvester Stallone, Jake Gyllenhaal, The Rock. He's known as the Hollywood checkbook to many A-list stars. He is one of Maria and I's very best friends, part-time business partner, and really one of the most colorful guys we know. A throwback to old-time Hollywood producers, Randall Emmett.
Woohoo! All right. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Randall, thank you for coming.
I've been hearing about you for a very long time, so it's nice to put a face to the name.
Yes, it's great to be here.
All right, Randall, what's going on now? Because every time these guys even to do research, there's like 50 projects on IMDb, and they're all legit.
And on your Instagram, you outside CAA, you're signing things.
What thing? Aren't you WME or did you leave?
That's complicated.
You're Switzerland?
No, I'm Switzerland.
You are Switzerland.
Okay. No, I'm WME, but I do a lot of business at CA because, as a producer and financier, you're buying talent. So
and by the way, because you are a checkbook to everybody's stars, they have to they have to be able to do business with. But you know what I'm finding is that I'm finding that they're trying to put. I'm experiencing the squeeze where I'm wanting to work with big name producers who aren't necessarily WME because we're WME, and they're like, no.
I think. From my point of view, as financing a movie, you get to work with everybody. I mean, it's just part of the game. But I am represented WME, but I'm Switzerland and friendship with everybody.
Friends
with the whole world.
Randall, what's some of the stuff going on right now?
Well, like you said, we just wrapped season 3 like a week ago.
Of Power.
Yeah, Power.
It's amazing. We do the show at AfterBuzz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great after show.
And what else are we doing? We are in post production on Martin Scorsese's movie Silence, which comes out in the end of the year. So that's probably the
Martin directing,
my big milestone moment in my career to work with the greatest.
Were you on set a lot, or was it Randall Emmett in and out with the Rolls Royce for 10 minutes, or did you actually stay there the whole time?
I wanted to bring the Rolls Royce. The problem is it was in Taiwan, so I couldn't get it there. It was a little complicated. So I took the plane.
Okay, so Roxy, you're like shocked. He has his Rolls Royce flown to sets all over the country.
Flatbed. Yeah, I do ship the rolls, but no.
He was in Taiwan.
No, I never got it to Taiwan. I was saying no. With Martin Scorsese, it's a little different. It's a humbling experience. It's me basically bowing down and praying to the greatness that he is. So no, there was none of that. I flew there a lot. I went to Taiwan a lot, and it was an amazing.
Did you talk to him at all during it, or just be like, I'm not going to bother you because you're making?
No.
Magic.
He believe it or not, when I first got involved in the movie, I was sweating and checking out mentally and couldn't handle it, and I was taking layers off every minute. But as the creative process started, he really is the most amazing human. He's collaborative, and he really appreciates everybody.
I mean, because I know some of your movies, I've seen you have to know, but no, it's not a joke. You've had to be the bad guy and draw the line.
Yeah.
With whether it's an actor who's an A-list actor who's like, listen, I'm not going to do this, or I'm going to change the ending that you and your team have spent months developing.
Right.
And I know you're strong enough, whereas a green director, right, is not going to have the power maybe to say to. But with Martin,
it's completely different. I mean,
you don't touch the creative at all.
You know what's amazing? I said to him, the day that I got to meet him for the first time and tried to court him per se. It was like a date, and I said to him, whatever you want to do, I just want to be walking hand in hand and side by side and be part of the process. And there's nothing more you can say to the great Martin Scorsese other than you kind of strap in and be part of the ride. And he really is collaborative, but there is no telling Martin Scorsese what to do. You're just there to be part of the magic. And it really is.
But Randall, that's you.
Yeah, 100%.
And Randall's somebody who has a sign on his door that says "assholes get shit done." Right? Isn't it that?
That is true.
Okay.
That's true.
And was voted what?
Very proud of that.
What was it in Hollywood? What was your thing?
Number one? Well, it's called the Brown List. I was number 1 on it, so I guess I'm the number 1 asshole
in Hollywood. Okay,
but in the last 4 years I haven't made the list, so I just want to put
congratulations.
that. I just think I'm old now and a little softer. But yes, I was on the list twice.
So have you changed, Randall, from? Or did you just realize you had to adapt?
I think it's a matter of opinion. I think if you ask my assistants, I'm the same. I think as I've gotten older, I just think that it's not really adapting. I think you fight. As you get older, you have children. you're fighting different battles. You want to save your energy. I don't want to have a heart attack.
So is it different tactics?
I think it is. I think it's just a little more calculated, and I think it's trying to fight when you really have to fight, not just fight because everything's a fight, right? So I think today I'm trying to pick my.
So when you were younger, you had to, Randall,
had to
because you were
fight for
coming up.
everything.
You had to fight
Everything.
for every crumb.
And I'm self-made from the ground up. I started with nothing. I worked at Wendy's at 15 in the drive-thru. So I'm a guy that like a lot of people out here.
There's this. You can't even get Randall. We can't. These guys don't understand, and the world's going to start learning about you. But you can't get Randall in an hour. It's many, many hours. I mean, well, do you know the character of? Tell them.
Yeah. Well,
it's based on a certain somebody I'm looking at right now.
Are we talking Entourage?
Entourage?
Yeah, I mean, I think Entourage was like a mix, a blend of a lot of assistants, like including myself, who was started as Mark Wahlberg's assistant, and I think that when the show evolved, it evolved around a bunch of us, and look, I started from the ground up. It was like I carried bags through airports, and I did the things that assistants do, and I cherish all those moments looking back because that's what makes you strong. I think people sometimes it's easy to put a tag on people and say that guy because he drives that car and acts that way is that person. Right. But we start somewhere.
Everybody does. I mean, unless they have families. And
yeah,
stuff. But you didn't. I know you didn't.
No, I did. And 90% of I think the industry starts in that place. I think just people forget about that. So I try to remind people.
You know what? Here's what I like, though, Randall. You started, as Mark Wahlberg. One of your jobs was Mark Wahlberg's assistant. And then to go full circle, and basically, in some ways, be his partner / employer on certain projects.
Well, I wouldn't say. I'd say I'd say we collaborated on 3 movies together, and it was a.
How very PC of you.
Well, I don't want to get a phone call.
I know you know.
I don't want to get a phone call.
No. But at the end of the day, it's like.
But you know what? I'll tell you this. Mark not only is a friend, but he's a mentor, and to have your best friend and mentor bring you projects at a certain level in your career where you look up to this. Remember, I started as his assistant. He was making movies and been Oscar nominated, all that stuff. All of a sudden, one day he calls you up and says, "Hey, I have a movie for you." And all of a sudden, you're like, "What? Wait."
So Wahlberg.
So
awesome.
So that's how it started, and then we ended up doing Lone Survivor and Two Guns, etc. But it was pretty awesome, and it's even more fun to make and collaborate with your friend because you learn so much from somebody who's been in the business so long, and he taught me a lot. It was an awesome experience.
Your relationship with him confuses me a little bit though because I heard this story about you wanting to wrestle him.
Oh God.
How?
Oh, God.
What's happening
you guys
there?
are just on point.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, I thought I was coming in here just to hang out.
Have some drinks with some hot girls in Star Trek costumes. Maria got you sauced up.
I got a bud.
Your 22-degree Bud Light.
Got to drink up on that, bud.
Yeah. Say, where's the shots? God, that's crazy. When I met Mark the first time, somebody introduced us the first night we had ever met. At a restaurant. We met and we hung out that night. I think I had a lot of drinks, and he was staying in a hotel. He wasn't even living here yet. He was commuting between Boston and here, and I think I was just trying to show him like I'm a tough guy and I can hang, and you're from Boston and you're the Southie guy, and I was like, yeah, I'm a Jew from Miami, and I grew up
part of the tribe.
I grew up in middle class America. I don't know where I thought we had this connection, and literally he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Dude, I will wrestle you right now." And he's like, I remember this look. I'll never forget it. He looked at me like I don't know, lost my mind, and he's like, "Are you sure?" I said, "Dude, let's do it now." And he said, okay, well, I mean, if you're that lunatic. Okay. And literally what the next step was, in 2 seconds, I just remember being put in the air over his back and his head, and I came crashing down on my head. And I was literally, thank God I was drunk because I would have been, and then that was, and then I think the reason we're friends to this day is I said, dude, that was nothing. Let's do it again. And I said, I want to not, because, you get angry. Like, even if somebody hit I was like, yo, let's do it one more time, because I thought maybe he had an edge on me or I wasn't ready. And then the second one was even worse. And after that, I said, okay, that's it. And I think he just felt bad, like, this guy's crazy, so I'm going to just make him part of my crew for now. So then we were friends,
There's something about the Boston neighborhood guys, too. Like, they'll beat you up, and then after they're done, the first one's to clean you up, give you a sandwich, and respect you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think he was shocked that I even got up once and then wanted it again. So anyway, it was great, but it was fun, and we've been friends for 20 years now. So.
And then also you interned with Bruckheimer.
I did. I interned.
That's unbelievable. I mean, really, it's like.
I did.
Is it a coincidence that you ended up? I interned for a lot of
No.
I interviewed I interned with like Chuck Barrett. You remember Chuck Barrett?
Yeah.
Well, he was awesome. But imagine his like writers who were old game show writers who had done the Dating Game and Newlywed Game. These guys were like relics. Like that's the people I interned under. How did you get to?
Well, I mean,
this
that
level of
was a
person?
little nepotism. I was in film school in New York, and I had found out somewhere along the way that I had a distant cousin through my mother's side. And my mother just one day woke up in the middle of like my second year of film school, or third year of film school. She's like, I just forgot to tell you, you have a distant cousin, Jerry Bruckheimer. And I'm like, Mom, what? I was like, what? What do you? Did you lose your mind? I mean, you didn't want to tell me this.
Your mother, the sweetest lady in the world.
The greatest. My mother,
Right.
God bless her. She is the
doll.
greatest mother you can ever have.
And by the way,
Permanent fixture on every set of every movie I make.
and
Permanent fixture.
completely confused by you at times.
What do you? So is my father. Put
Yeah,
them both
exactly. They're just like and they're half laughing and half confused.
Why?
when
Because they
see-
wanted you to be a doctor.
No,
or a
because he-
lawyer?
For sure, in
Yeah.
the beginning.
Well,
For sure.
but no, because he's. I mean, Randall. I was
he's
telling these
confusing.
guys he kicked open a door in Vegas and either had 50 or 100,000 in cash and starts throwing bundles of money at everyone in the room, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Oh my god.
Well, they're like, we didn't raise him this way. What happened? But the truth. So anyway, just because I was mad, I'm like, where was the Christmas card or whatever? So anyway, she said, well, you should reach out to him. I said, great idea, Mom. Thanks for that. A year before I graduate, and so I reached out to him, and they called me. I'll never forget. The assistant called me, and they said, hey. We have Jerry Bruckheimer on the line. And by the way, at this point, I had papered my walls in my dorm with every Jerry Bruckheimer movie because those are the kind of movies I love. Top Gun and, Days of Thunder and, everything he had made. And so he got on the phone and he said, what do you want to do in the business? And I said, I want to do everything. And he's like, well, you need to figure out what you really want to do, what you do best and what people tell you do best, which was the best advice I ever had because in film school, I was good at putting it together. Taking people's money and producing their film. Like first, I didn't want to be a director. I wanted to put it together. And then when I graduated from college, I went out to California and I got a temp job because I had to pay the bills. And then all of a sudden, he gave me an internship. He said, I called and he said, come out. And I worked there, and it was the best experience ever because, they were shooting Crimson Tide with the late Tony Scott, and Michael Bay was cutting Bad Boys. So here I am. Picking up food and running errands and getting to be in these spaces. And it was really, I thought that's all Hollywood, by the way. I mean, I was delusional at that point. I thought this is just how it is.
Oh.
I'm with the greatest producer of all time and the greatest directors. But in my mind, I thought this is how it is because I didn't know any different. And then, of course, you have to, that's the great Jerry Bruckheimer. And then there's, everybody else. So.
My jaw is like wide open right now about this. I can't even get over that.
I mean, what were some of the takeaways you got from Bruckheimer?
Oh, just his attention to detail and how he could manage multiple productions, how he was really involved. I mean, it was really amazing to watch him go from one movie to post-production. I mean, he was relentless in his work ethic. In the morning he'd be on set all day. Then in the afternoon, I wasn't privy to the meetings he went to, but he'd be in meetings. And then at night, like at 8 o'clock at night, we'd be having dinner in the editing room, and he would be there till midnight. I mean, this was a regular day, and this went on for weeks and weeks.
By the way, to someone who loves movies, that's the life, right?
Oh,
you love
the dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. Yeah.
Any relationship with him now, or?
You know what? Yeah. I mean, I think every time he sees me, which is just awesome, he always says very kind things about my career and gives me a hug, and we talk. We talk, chit chat. But he, we've even talked. I've been to the company with his people, and we've talked about a couple different movies at different points. I mean, he's an incredible person, and what a career. And I mean, that's the dream, to be Jerry Bruckheimer. So, but yeah, it's he doesn't need, he makes his own thing, but it's great. He always says the nicest things when he sees me. So it's very, very neat.
You said he asked you about what you wanted to do, and you were a little confused, but I heard that you always wanted to be a producer. When you were in a sea of all people who wanted to be directors, that was just like...
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. In college, they make you take directing courses and writing courses and all this, and I think when he called the first time, I was a little like, I want to try this and this and this, and he had given me that advice, like just, find out what you do best, what people tell you do best, because you might think you do something, but other people are going to say differently. And then all of a sudden within that year, I started being really good at putting it together. And I started taking seniors in college when I was in like sophomore and junior, excuse me. And then I would take their money, put it in a bank account, organize all the production for them, AD their movies, and I started producing all these senior thesis films. And then when I got to my senior year, I asked the college to let me produce my first feature, and they said I was crazy. And remember, back then we didn't have digital; it was all film, 16 millimeter.
Brutal.
So I had to raise like $80,000 back 25 years ago.
And you don't have Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, we didn't have
No.
By the way, we had beepers, so let's remember that. Okay,
Right.
So
Is that a pager?
I'm surrounded by
See what I'm saying?
millennials. They have no idea.
Yeah. Generation gap.
So people would give you their money, trust you, and you weren't the kind of college guy who was like, all right, I'm going to go pocket this and take some beers?
No, you know what I did? I structured these little corporations for them, and they owned them, and then they would put the money in a bank account, and then I would do the budget, and then I would do it. And the thing is, the ratio for finishing a film in college, at least in my school, back then was very small because directors are such artists. They only cared about the artistic part, not the budgetary part. So here I am. All I would care about is getting their film finished so they could go to a film festival. So I became known as the guy that did that.
Good Jewish
But
boy.
but you know what? No, but you know something? It's such a blessing because Maria and I, when we started out, that was the hardest thing, was finding a producer, because everyone wants to be the director, the writer, the star. No one wants to be the producer, but it's a very, I think it's a smart way into the business.
Yeah.
Because and by the way, to me, a producer is somebody who actually can just make shit happen and manage people. No, I mean that.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. I mean, I think that, producers are to be a true producer is somebody that really enjoys seeing, putting something from script to the theater. You really have to love that. There's a pureness to that love. And when you find producers that really love that, they're rare, because a lot of people want to do a lot of different things. But somebody that truly wants to produce, I don't want to be the star. I don't want to be the director. I want to be the voice for these filmmakers to have their chance to show their vision.
Going back for a second, because I'm curious, you said you needed to raise $80,000.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, how did you raise it?
Oh, it was brutal. I started with my grandfather, who's passed now. I think and by the way, he wasn't really a nice person. So he made me get on the train and come to Connecticut and listen to a lecture for 3 hours about business and life, which like at 20 is not really what I was looking to do. But so that's how it started. So I think I got maybe I forgot 7,000 or 8,000 from him, and then my mother had found like a matching grant thing through her company at the time. So I think I raised like 40, and they matched through some program. But it was really through friends and family. I mean, we found a couple outside investors, and then the best part of the whole thing was, of course, because making movies in Hollywood is obviously highly driven by star talent, right? Mm-hmm. So here I am, thinking, okay, we need to have a big star in this movie. Of course, we couldn't afford anybody, and we had all great New York actors. And I said, there's this crazy character in the insane asylum. Maybe we could get Henny Youngman.
My God.
The late, she's like,
you guys pull up Henny Youngman. There you go. He's laughing at the pictures. Get him on YouTube.
I can't take it.
Yeah, grab him on YouTube.
It's one of the greatest comedians back. So the great Jewish, Henny Youngman.
Catskills comic.
Right, true story. I called him up. I called his manager up, and he's like, and I think we had to pay him like $2,000. And I remember the day we had Henny Youngman, who was like the big star of our movie at the time. He came out to Long Island because I was shooting out in Long Island, and I got him a limo. It was the whole thing, and I meet him somewhere in Long Island. I get in the limo with him. We drive, and he's like, I really need a pastrami sandwich. And I said, Henny, I'm not from Long Island. Just get me a diner. Yeah, basically. So I pull into a diner. Long story short, we go into the diner. Everybody knows him because everybody there is on par with his age at the diner. And we come out, and the limo driver, I see him jigging the door. He had locked himself out of the limo.
No.
So this is like producing 101 from hell. And here I got Henny Youngman. He's like, what's going on? And I'm like, you break that window right now. And I made the driver break the window.
This is so Randall Emmett. The great Randall Emmett. This was the beginning.
So we broke the window. We unlocked it. I got Henny in the limo. We got him to the set, and it was great. And that was my first quasi-celebrity
Randy,
experience.
tell, I don't know if you remember this story. Tell my little millennials who are very entitled, very narcissistic, don't like being corrected or told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall the, I believe it was a PA who worked for you that just didn't really want to wash and smelled?
Wait, say it one more time. Sorry.
Remember the PA that
My
worked
ADD
for you?
kicked in.
The production assistant who worked for you that smelled and didn't watch.
Oh,
Didn't watch.
God. Oh, God. That was...
You had a PA who wouldn't shower?
Okay, it's... I don't really know if you didn't shower. I don't want to get into the details. But there is a story, a legend, where I was in Vancouver with somebody, and he was an assistant, and he would drive us in the morning to the set, and then he was my assistant. Now, there was a stench in this car every day that literally I wanted to shoot myself. I mean, and I don't mean to be... Is there cursing on this one?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I don't mean to be an asshole because honestly, some people are born with BO and there are pills for that. I can help them, all types of stuff. But this dude didn't want to take the pills and he did not want to, whatever was going on.
You tried? You said, will you take these pills?
Well, no, I would hint to him. I bought him beautiful cologne one day and I said, dude, this is a gift from me. You've been doing a great job. That's a hint to bathe in that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So long story short, I gave him the cologne. The cologne was never on. And by the 5th day, I thought it was maybe in my head, the level of smell. And then the other producer, I said, come in the car. We get in the car. We're driving. This set this day was like an hour out. 20 minutes in, I'm losing it. I'm like regurgitating in my mouth. And so I tell him, pull the fucking car over. Pull it over. Pull the fucking car over. So he pulls, stand up. He pulls the car over. And
You're gonna lose your shot.
Oh shit! Sorry. I'll sit down. So I said, pull the fucking car over, and I get out and I turn to my buddy, and he's about to throw up, and he's like, dude, I can't take it. I said, you got to get out of the car right now. And I take him out of the car, and I said, come over here. I need to understand what's going on here. He goes, what do you mean? What's wrong? I said, dude, you smell like shit. That's the bottom line. You smell like shit. I'm going to throw up, and I need to help you. I am here to help you, but I can't sit in the car another minute. It was that bad. I've never smelled anything like it. And then literally what happened was it was his jacket. He took his jacket off. It smelled, and he had not washed it. He told me he had this jacket for like 6 years and never washed it.
And he
once.
wore it every day?
Every day because it was cold. You know, we were shooting in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And so literally I took the jacket. I kicked it down the hill. And I said, get back in the car. Here's $100. Go buy a damn new jacket at JCPenney or wherever friggin' you shop. I don't care. But it was horrible. It was bad. And I know people are like get mad that I say that, but dude, I'm a real person. Like, I want to help you. I don't want somebody to smell, but the stench was like, it was bad.
See, what I love,
I'll never forget.
But Randall, what I love, it would take a civilian, or it would take a civilian or a Catholic. It would take us to be 50 to say, take the fucking jacket off, or by the way, go back to the limo story to say, I've got Henny Youngman, the star of my movie. I'm smashing the window. You fucked up. Smash the window and let's go.
Yeah.
At that age, everybody, sorry, sir. Okay, I'm sorry that you locked your door. And how do I? But I love how you had the instinct to go smash the window. Let's go. Yeah, but that's unfortunately what civilians don't understand about our business. The money and the time that's on the line, right? We all doing 20-hour days. And when you get Bruce Willis or you get Mark, you don't have them for a year.
No.
You've got them for a limited amount of days because they have other projects they're doing. And you just have to get shit done.
Period.
And you know what? And it's like either you have people that are going to be with the program and understand it or they're not.
Yeah.
And by the way, that limo driver never locked himself out of his car again. And that driver never smelled like shit again. And you did that.
Okay, but
I helped them.
Randall,
I'm a helper.
Are you? You are. You're a giver. You're a helper.
I'm not always on everybody's Christmas list, but I'm definitely a helper.
But you're definitely on the brown list.
Okay, but Randall, are you concerned?
By the way, my mother was mortified because when I made the brown list, which by the way, I made the first year's list as number 1 by a wide shot of like 1,000 votes. My mother, I was so proud of it. The New York Times was calling. I was like, Mom. And my mom goes, I'm mortified. The fact that you're proud of this, there's something wrong in your head. You need to go to a therapist. I go, Mom, any list that you make number 1 is a good list. Right. She goes, not the shit list. I never made a number 1 list, so I'm pretty proud of it.
I think it's pretty good.
Thank you very much.
But you know what? As our generation gets older in this business, I get nervous because with these millennials, they don't play.
No.
You can't talk to them like that.
No.
We were all talked to like that, right?
No.
We were all
long.
smacked around. Things were thrown in our head.
Swirlies at camp. Wedgies at camp.
You really got swirly?
I got a few of them.
Yeah,
I probably got a.
But you
a
got
few
the
every summer.
But you know what? We got the psychological wedgies in the business. We all do. We're all
day,
terrorized
every day.
And my kids here, whether it's Roxy or Lauren in the booth, like the stuff that they're dealing with. I'm like, guys, it's nothing, but it's par for the course. This is the transition to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I don't wish it on you, but you're gonna get it. So you got to get tough.
Yeah.
But with you. Because you're funny, like the stuff that you do, are you starting to think now with this generation coming up that you got to put a governor on it?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, things that were done to me coming up in the business, obviously very different today. I agree.
You could never do.
No.
Could never be
Did
done.
you get sued?
Oh, that's like an understatement.
Yeah.
That's an understatement. But yeah, probably. I mean, I think if you give a kid a swirly, I mean, my kids go to camp, my sleepaway camp, the one I went to, my oldest one. But I mean, yeah, they don't. There's none of that. Because I talked to the counselors today, and there's like, you can't even.
No.
A wedgie would be like physical abuse.
But even in your office in Hollywood, like you
in my office
I know
is
your
intense.
guys.
My office is intense.
It's intense,
still.
but they kind of. I feel like your place, you're blessed because it's like a frat house. Like you guys are playing the foosball, and you're yelling and screaming as you're playing on them. Like they get it.
Yeah. I mean, I think, okay, my office is a little different than others. Like coming into my office, there's a reputation already that precedes coming into my office. So you know if you're going to go have the balls to work for me, if you really are that masochistic, I guess, you know that it's going to be tough. But the difference is they also know when they come in, promotion is pretty much guaranteed if you make it 2 years, almost guaranteed. I mean, and also they know that they're in the trenches. We don't have a huge company. We don't make it like 36 employees because we want everybody that becomes a producer to come from the bottom. So the great thing is if you can survive 2 years in my office, you pretty much are guaranteed a promotion as a producer. You pretty much
your hands are on everything.
Your hands are on everything.
Tim, who we've known for years, is now making movies
for 9 years, and now he's a producer on everything.
Do most people survive 2 years?
No.
Or is that very rare?
Very rare. I mean, I don't want to say very rare. I would say, I mean, sometimes I go through assistants for a period of time, like T-shirts, like for 6 months.
Well,
let's say
it's like the deer. They're horrified. The deer in the headlights.
Yes,
but we see it all the time too.
Yeah, but when you lock into one that sucks it up, and then they last for 2 years. So I have a guy named Alex who's getting promoted in April. He's been with me 2 years. I have.
Congrats, Alex.
Yeah, Alex's birthday today as well.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Yep. My birthday tomorrow.
Tomorrow, I know.
Yeah. But long story short, the answer is it's not easy, but it's also not easy to be in our business. Like, I want people to come into our business and appreciate what it really takes to work ethic, because I think everybody everywhere is always looking for the shortcut. Everyone wants to play the part of a radio show host.
That's
or
right.
play the part of a newscaster, an actor or a director or a producer. And I think when you really drill down on it, it's not sexy. We all know that. I mean, anything we do is work. So I think as long as they come in with the work mentality, they survive. Because I'm not looking to break somebody. I'm not looking for one of my assistants to quit. I want them to stay so that 2 years later I have a real trained employee that can go off and do things. So, but I mean, sometimes I get guys that tell me, I mean, you gotta understand, my interview process is very different than anybody else's. Like a regular interview in Hollywood or in any business is like, oh, here's your resume. You went to this college. Do you,
I'm really positive I work well with others.
Right. Do you play well in the sandbox?
Yeah.
Things like that. My interview is, I put it out there.
Can
Like what?
I put it
you
out there.
interview
Yeah,
Roxy?
go ahead.
And by the way, Roxy, don't be a freaking suck ass now. Be Roxy.
Okay.
And
I don't think Roxy could be
I
anything
won't be
but
a
Roxy.
suck
No,
ass.
I don't
no,
think
but,
Roxy's-
but it's also Randall Emmett. She's not stupid either. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and I want you to be original Roxy that I met.
Yeah, just don't ask me about my drug usage.
Right.
We're good.
Oh, no.
We don't share that with it. We
Whatever.
keep.
Randall, just be you. Here we go. Roxy's sitting in.
Okay,
for the
so we're
interview.
okay. I don't think that.
Come on.
All right.
I come in my Star Trek uniform.
Okay. All right. So let's pretend this is right the first one. Okay. So Roxy. So what's your experience in the business?
I met my old boss on a plane. His name is Keven Undergaro.
Oh, great.
I started working for him as a host when I
Great.
graduated from USC. I started working
Good
full-time for him as a producer for AfterBuzz TV, the #1 online new media platform.
Fantastic.
I've been working there for 6 years, but I guess it's time for a change
You want to go into producing, I assume.
because I want to become
Right.
a producer for you.
Right. Okay. Let me ask you a question. So what have you heard about me? Like that's the first thing I ask any potential candidate. What have you heard? Please be transparent because I want to know what you know, and then I'll elaborate.
Well, I hear you made the Brown list twice, so
Yes.
it makes me a little nervous sitting here with you. But I also know that you made some amazing films that I love. I even was watching Rambo with a bunch of friends earlier today.
Right.
I really enjoyed Everest, but I heard that was a project that maybe you didn't leave feeling so happy about. So
That's great. So here's the thing. Let me just say this. Whatever you've heard about me, times it by 1,000.
Oh.
So whatever bad stuff, I'm worse than that. And here's the deal. I just need to know that you can take me yelling, screaming, throwing trash cans, throwing staplers. They will miss your head. They will not hit your head because I don't want to inflict physical abuse. But I do want to say that whatever you've heard, the hours are longer than whatever you've heard.
Okay.
Usually it's 18 hours. It's lack of sleep. It's sleep deprivation. It's basically like, going through whatever hell camp we could put you through. But on top of it, I'm going to pretty much break you down to the point. And if you do cry, I do have a song I play and I start clapping and cheering that I did break you. So
What's that song so we can pull it from the booth?
No, because I don't want, because then it's going to go to the, no.
What's the song? No, come on.
we can't play because then they'll know.
Yeah, because it's like it's a secret that comes out literally, and out of like the 100 assistants, I've broken probably 50 of them. But the thing is, and just going back, this is a good, but going back, I basically.
So wait, is she gonna get the job?
No, not a chance.
No
Really?
chance?
Too much information about my movies.
Oh,
Not
too much?
interested.
Yeah,
like
okay.
because I'm looking for an assistant, not an opinion.
I
Like
see.
that. That's
Yeah.
that's.
I get that, but
That's awesome.
but maybe I can sell you here because what I will say is that I will never cry in front of you. I'm a Boston girl, so I've got really tough skin.
By the way, I couldn't have her because she's basically a boss, not an assistant. You know what I'm saying? I could read within 2 seconds that you are definitely a boss.
So I got to come in like a little more.
No, you know what? By the way, Randall,
I have to get you when you walked out of USC, basically.
Oh shit!
Randall, I know
Fuck
from
me,
being
Kev.
with Maria, Greeks and Jews.
No,
They don't. They're the bosses.
They're the
you
boss.
want a
They're
Catholic, baby. You want, right, Lauren?
Absolutely.
Right? You
Yeah,
wanna-
we're perfect for him.
Yeah,
Kev.
we'll just crawl over glass for you.
send the resume over, guys.
Yeah.
No, but
I gotta hear the song.
But the thing is when I interview people, I just want them to know that like I'm not hiding anything.
Right.
Like it's a tough job. I'm going to be ruthless. I'm going to say things I don't mean. But the great thing about me is I forget them 10 minutes later. It's not personal, but there's a lot of money at stake, and your business is intense and it's competitive. And
There's a gun by your head
all the time.
This is the biggest losing business, this business gets worse every day
Every
for
day.
movies.
Every day.
Every day. And we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
But people don't understand that's on the line. But the reward is, Lauren, how would you like to go 2 years go through hell and be anointed a producer and have all of this great knowledge? Or would you rather linger for 30 years and be crew and be a mediocrity and be one of those miserable guys on crew, and you know them, who think they're smarter than everybody?
But the crew is
don't have success?
incredibly important to our business.
If you have the great crew. Like Eastwood has a great crew. I'm sure Martin does.
No, of course. But I'll say this. I mean, the answer is like there are people that hover in the business in so many different jobs. And
But they want to hover. I'm saying the ones who want to produce.
Because there are crew out there that are the most talented humans in the world.
Because they want to be the
wanna
DP,
be there.
they want to be the camera person.
They want to be the key grip. They want to be.
right.
They want to be car services, and that's amazing. But I agree with you that there are people floating out there who are going from job to job because they're looking for the quick fix.
Yes.
It doesn't exist now. And in my world, when I came up like you, I took it every which way from every direction, everybody, and that toughened me up. And now what I want, like you said, if you give me 2 years of your life and you sacrifice and compromise to get there, you're going to get there, and then all of a sudden your name, you become a producer, you have credits, and you're on set, and you know I have assistants who are 27 years old who are now going to be producers on movies this year. So
I think that's fucking amazing
Yeah.
It
because
is.
I don't know any other
Not a
job
lot of
that
people.
looks at you and says 2 years. Give me 2 years.
Right.
Like you're there. You
And
have
7
no
days
idea.
a week, you make it your life. But I
Yeah.
remember Alex, when he started with you, he said, you know what? This is my dream. I'm so excited. Yeah, I know.
And
I know it's going to be crazy, but guess what? Like, I'm on sets. He's so excited, and I know that feeling. And by the way, Maria pretends she understands that feeling. She doesn't. But it's true. She doesn't. I get it because
Maria was
I
a
love,
superstar since day one.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love film so much
No,
that
Kevin,
sounds
you-
like the best experience
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
You know, to be.
No, you're a film connoisseur.
Yeah, I
and
love it.
You're you know what? You're an entertainment connoisseur because you know all.
Yeah, I
like I
love it.
learned from you when we first got together long time ago, you were teaching me about reality, and you were teaching me about all these different facets.
Love
and
it.
now you've turned it into an empire. So, congratulations.
Thank you.
Good feeling.
But yeah, we love it. Like
Yeah.
to me, it sounds like it's the
Yeah.
best day. But I think also a lot of people want the shortcut, right? And I think a lot of people think they want it, but they really don't.
I think you nailed it.
Absolutely, Kevin.
Yeah, I think a lot of people come in and pretend that this is what they want, and when they see the work that's required, it's not. It's not Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood where that's red carpet and they're taking their picture. It's actually a grind. But any business in the world, whether you're processing buttons on a shirt, or you're at Google, or you're here, or you're doing what I do, it's business, and it's work, and it's hard, and it's competitive, and it's ruthless. So I think, but you have to love that product, and I love movies, so it's worth all the stuff that I lose along the way, the peace of mind and the viciousness that goes along with it, because at the end of the day, when the lights go down, and there's all these people that came out of their homes to pay that money, to see that experience, to be transformed to another world, and I was part of that it's worth every minute.
There's such an insanity involved when you think about it, Randall, for all the work that goes in for 90 friggin' minutes that goes up at a premiere, and then it's done.
It's finished.
And it's done, and then it's on to the next one.
But when you make something great,
it lasts forever.
Like when you get lucky, like
and you've made
a lone survivor,
many.
let's say,
right?
I feel like that you get lucky, or all these great filmmakers.
By the way, an End of Watch is going to be remembered as an amazing.
Thank you.
Every cop is going to remember always. It's going to be the cop's go-to movie.
Special movie.
It was the most real. My brother's a policeman, so I know my best friend is a very decorated policeman in the Mass State Police. And it's the closest thing I've ever seen to a real. Have you heard that from other people?
Yeah,
too?
I've heard it from police officers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It is the police officer's movie.
When I've been pulled over for speeding, I'll mention, they're like, if they say, you live in Florida, you live here, whatever, and I'll say, yeah, both, 'cause I'm in the movie business, but by whatever, by coastal, and he'll say, I'll say, I made this movie End of Watch. I don't know if you ever seen it. He's like, oh my God, that's just like my partner and I. That's
right.
So, and I think David Ayer, the director, was so diligent about his research and put the actors through this training that movie was just so raw. I still love that movie. I talk about to this day.
It's amazing. Yeah. Everyone will always remember it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that's getting scarier and more depressing. It's either the big tentpole films, and by tentpole we mean the big like Minions or the big franchise movies, Star Wars.
Yeah.
But where are these great stories like End of Watch? Every day that goes by, it's getting harder and harder to get those out there.
Yeah.
What do we do?
We got to have independent filmmakers like us, who are out there trying to put things together.
But how do you monetize them, Randall? Just underwrite them with
Well, I think you subsidize them with tax incentives like we do in foreign sales. Thank God.
But foreign still working?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think with the right genre and the right actor, for sure, foreign is a big part of our business still, and the tax incentives, in the different states, and then then you have what you have left, which you're doing. But yes, it's definitely. The appetite for movies today the bar is so high now that you really have to kind of have something special. So even if it's a mid-sized budget movie or a lower budget movie, it has to have that level of End of Watch.
Well, and remember, none of these kids pay for anything.
I know.
I mean that. They were broke, and they don't even know. But we were the thieves, Randall. And then what we did?
Never. I was perfect.
Right. But then when it came down to them, it's like breathing air. Oh, well, they're not aware they're stealing.
Oh no! Today, it's. I was on a plane. Maybe 6 months ago, I was on a plane and I was walking back from the bathroom, and on an iPad, with Wi-Fi, was one of my movies that definitely was not downloadable yet. I mean, it was still in the theater, and I did a double take and went back to my seat, and I took this moment because, of course, we're getting destroyed, with this, with the downloads, and it's not good. And so I went back to the chair and I said to her, listen, with all due respect, I'm one of the producers of this movie, and a lot of people put a lot of money and a lot of their hard time. And I said the crew and the cast, and we all sacrificed parts of our lives to get this movie made. And she almost started crying. I think she thought at first, because I don't think I revealed who I was at first. I think she thought it was like the FBI. She was like, oh my. I said, no, I'm part of the movie, but it's just out of respect. You should appreciate the art and either go see it in the theater or after go buy it on thing. Because would I steal your car to drive it around for an hour. You know, it's like it's theft. And
messed
so
up,
so
right.
listen, we're in the most amazing, in my opinion, technological age of just an explosion, and it's the greatest gift and the biggest curse. We all say, you know, social media and the technology, but it's what we live in.
But it's I mean, it's my movie Adventures Series Buddies. I forget. WME called me and goes, you know what? We checked it out. 110,000 downloads, and I'm going, oh my god, at $6 a pop, right? We're like that's 700 grand.
Yeah.
Wow. That's well beyond the budget. I mean, and it was all pirate.
Yeah.
All of it,
Yeah.
100% pirated.
It's horrible.
All
It's
stolen.
horrible.
It will make you guys feel better to know that I went to Amazon. I rented Rambo.
Nice
We
job.
watched it on here.
Really?
It cost me $3 to rent for 48 hours.
Randall,
Well
are
worth
you-
it.
That's what I'm talking
Randall,
about.
he's making one more, right?
He is.
Are you going to make it?
We're not involved in that one. No,
Okay.
we're not involved in I film at all. The set we did one, and it was great. It was a great
What
experience.
what's been your biggest budget one so far?
Two Guns was so far our biggest budget. Yeah, I mean, we have a couple movies that we'll do this year and into next year that are bigger than that. But $85 million is a very large budget for us for an independent company. You know, we're not financed by the studio.
Is there one genre that you're obsessed with working with? I mean, or you want to work with in the future, or it'll take anything that moves the needle or is quality?
You mean genre or direct?
Genre.
Genre. I mean, I really love the drama and thrillers and action. I only like action if it really has a character at this point in my career that I buy into. Like End of Watch was action, but it was, I mean, the characters were so rich and so But but I'm really doing a lot of, doing things that are different than I'm used to doing. You know, we're doing Hungry Hungry Hippos, our first animated movie, which is like.
Oh, I played that game as a kid.
So I know, it's like
that's
awesome.
Great.
Yeah, so I mean, we're doing things that are different. We're trying different things because that's part of evolving.
Do you
as a
think that
producer.
your taste is changing because you have kids? You have is that something that
I'd like to
you're
say
interested in?
I'd like to say that I'm definitely more sensitive to other kinds of things. I'm not going to make kids movies because
I
that's
see
not,
that.
that's not
I kind of hate the Hollywood dad.
Yeah,
Like-
that's not
like,
my.
you know what I'm saying? I'm making
I'm blowing
children's
shit
shows
up
now.
forever. I mean, I'm
Good.
going to blow shit up,
Good
and we're
man.
going to kill people, and that's what
There's
our
some
movies
gore
do.
to it.
Right, but at the same time, I think that as I've evolved as a producer and just as an adult, I think I'm more inclined to more dramas, more true stories, like things like that. But I'm never going to be a kids-based producer. But it's neat to have one film out of 90 something.
Fine.
That's for my children.
Sure.
But no,
I think
yeah.
people at home go back to Scorsese because I'm fascinated by this guy. What about him was different though than the other directors you've worked with?
I mean, it's almost like being in class. You know, every time you're in the room with him, it's just he's. I mean, I don't even know how to say it. It's there's a magic. He just knows movies better than anybody I've ever
so
met.
many movies,
And I don't
right.
mean just his movies or his vision.
Everyone's. I know.
Everyone's.
he's willing to teach though? You say it's being in class.
Yeah, it's like you're being there, and I mean, I'll never forget we're in Cannes selling doing a foreign presentation, him and I and some of our partners, and I remember when we got done, he started talking about film preservation and the history of film, and I'm like, this is like magic. I mean, what he knows about cinema. I mean, very few people in the world have that kind of education and that knowledge and that passion. So just being around him. But in terms of the filmmaking process, he's just so detailed. And
Did you see him in
and
the
his
edit bay at
people-
all, or were you just involved in
No,
all this stuff?
no. I mean, I've been to the edit bay, but he's a very closed edit process until
Oh wow! You don't look over his shoulder. No, you don't get to observe in the back room. Nothing, huh?
No. Marty and his editor Thelma Shoemaker are they've been together for 30 years, maybe 4. I don't even know the number. And they're a team, and you just let them do their thing, and then they come
the soundtracks, because the soundtracks are always amazing. Is that him or a great music supervisor?
No. Marty's got his hand on every. It's his movie, and of course he's working with the greatest, most talented humans in the world. I mean, from this cinematographer we had named Rodrigo Prieto and to the designer Dante Ferretti. I mean, everybody's got statues. Everybody's the greatest. So for me, it was like this incredible experience that I'd never been around. I mean, it's really magic.
Going into everything is line itemed out, meaning let's say he wants to get a Rolling Stones song. He doesn't say, guys, I need more money. I got to get the song. That's all right? That's all taken care of. There's never a problem with that?
I mean, listen, every movie you have a discussion about a budget. If it's not in the budget, you're always going to have a discussion. But with Marty, like it's laid out so far in advance. You know what I mean? Like the budget reflects what he's going to do. It's not like he's going from one golf course to another golf course. He's on his golf course, and it's all mapped out, and he has that in his head, and it's all kind of the budget lays it out. It's not really – there's no real surprises because he shot the movie already in his head before you've showed up.
Okay, and where you're – like I would be, you're respectful of him. You go, Marty, you got this. I just know this city is still filled with so many egomaniac douchebags. Do you think there's other producers out there that challenge him? Or hands down 0.0.
I don't know. Challenge is a good word.
Or a studio exec, let's say. Studio exec. Like those guys, they don't play.
I don't know, but I do know this. I think that when you walk into a Martin Scorsese movie, and this is the truth, and I've never been in one. This is my first one, and it's like this, like hitting the lottery, in my opinion. You know, as a producer, as anybody involved.
I know, but that's how you think, Randall.
But I think everybody around him thinks that.
So
I think we all know going into a Martin Scorsese movie that you bought a ticket for this ride to be with him. And why do a Martin Scorsese movie if you don't want a Martin Scorsese movie, right? Why challenge a guy who's proven to be one of the greatest American filmmakers of our time forever?
I mean, to me makes sense. To you makes sense. But
I don't know.
I've heard from Alexander Payne, for example, who's an amazing indie director, right? And you know because you've almost worked with him many times.
He produced a movie with us. He's a great guy.
Right, and he's so smart. And he'll say, you know, when I show my first cut, they're never like, great job, and I know it'll get there. It's always like, They always kind of hold their cards close to the vest.
Yeah.
I go, they do that with you?
Yeah.
What else do you have to do to prove yourself?
Yeah.
Goes, nope, that's what they do.
But I think, again, I wasn't around any other movies with Marty, but this movie, I can tell you that pretty much I've never seen it. Has it ever happened? I don't know, but I can tell you that it would kind of be idiotic to go into that environment.
I would think so.
To go into that environment.
But I still see it, though. I remember being at MTV, Randall, you know, when the millennials all were seeping in and taking over, and it was one of the Lethal Weapon movies they were coming in to promote. And it was it Joel Silver who produced the Weeple?
Joel Silver.
It was he was there, and Joe Pesci was there, and Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, and they were like the little 23, we used to call them tape heads, running around with their headsets, telling these guys. Like I remember Joe Pesci, it was there for an hour or 2 hours before he was like, "Come on, I'm 2 hours overdue to be shot." He said, "Listen, are you gonna?" And she put her hand right in his face and was just like, "I don't have time for this." And I was like, "That's Joe Pesci. What are you doing?" And it's like, so I saw it back then, and I still see it now.
Yeah.
And
it exists.
And I'll say to these guys, like, you are nothing. All you are is a fucking facilitator. Everyone's paying to see Mark Wahlberg. And they're tuning in to see Maria, or they're tuning in to see Marty's work. It's talent and ideas. The rest of the people are facilitators.
And by the way, especially as a producer, you're supposed to be a collaborator. You're not supposed to be a dictator. That's the worst case scenario. Like out of as many movies I made, I'd say probably 5 to 8 of them, you know, I had to drop the hammer. That is not a good, healthy environment to make a film. And those movies that I had to do that sucked, like the worst of the worst. So when you come into a film, if you end up being that person where you have to do that, then the movie's going to suck because it's a creative, collaborative environment. That's what makes a great film. Anything short of that, chaos and that shit doesn't work creatively.
But you see some people do it.
Oh, it happens. No, it happens. Not on the Marty movie, but it's happened on my movies in the past. Oh, I've been in nightmare situations.
And it's awful.
Nightmare.
And you're right, it never works.
The worst.
It's Brian. I know Brian Grazer. When he
one of the greatest.
One of the greatest. And one of the things he does is when he interviews a director, he's actually looking at what they're dressed like.
Really?
And his whole thing is he likes it when they're dressed like shit because he's like, no, that's somebody whose mind is all in the film, not about the presentation of themselves. It's kind of interesting. I know Marty's Marty, so that's a no-brainer. But you've also worked with up-and-coming directors that are kind of it's still a wild card. What is it you're looking for?
When I meet a first-timer, let's say, or a young director.
That you're about to plop money down
I'm listening to what they're saying. You know, I'm basically trying to listen to what the vision is and how can they take notes from me. You know, what the vision. You know, do they understand the budgetary constraints, the shooting days, and basically what their goal is, what they're trying to get out of the film, what they see in the vision. But so I mean, it's a tough read because it's like going on a first date with a first-time director, except you got to get married because once you start that movie, you're married. So you're basically getting married off a one date. That's basically how first-time director meeting goes.
Did you see Project Greenlight this recent one?
I did.
What'd you think?
I liked it. It was
I did
crazy.
too.
Crazy.
But I was yelling.
Oh my
I found
God.
myself yelling at the TV a lot.
So did I. Oh, I was mad.
Right,
I watched
so was
half
I.
of it on TV and I watched half of it on a plane. I loved it.
And what upset you?
What was he mad about?
The going behind the back of the executives and a lot of positioning. There was a lot of positioning for a guy who was given a big opportunity.
So you say that? So you're upset with the director?
I was upset with the director early on. Then I was upset with other people.
I was upset with the director early on. Then I was upset with the producer.
Big time.
Because
big time.
She just kept
horrible.
Yes, and
that
she
situation.
kept insinuating herself into the creative. Yes, and she was. Here's what
very
I
opinionated
Yeah.
and making it about her.
Yes,
and
yes,
and not about the movie.
Not about the movie.
And look, let me also say in her defense, because we only see what they let us see in the thing.
Right.
So who knows if that escalated to a whole nother level. Then she said what she said, and then there was 2 hours of her supporting the director. We don't know, but definitely what we saw. Definitely
she
was.
But listen, let's give her this. She supposedly always comes in under budget and on time, which you love, right?
Yes, that's the best thing you can ask for.
But I think this is where you needed the HBO boss to clip her wings, and he didn't. He empowered her.
Oh, it was.
Right?
That was a whole rough experience because not only that, I mean, they flipped the script, which is unbelievable. I mean, the fact that by the way, that director has huge balls, and congratulations to him to go with the script he was supposed to do for the show, and amazing that the network and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck let him bring his own script in. I mean, that was unbelievable.
And then go to film.
I mean, that was and then go to film. I mean, it was like one thing after
yeah.
another. It was crazy. But it was such an. I think it's such a good slice of our business of what you have to deal with because you really have to deal with all that.
I wonder if they'll do it again. Do you think?
What?
I know the people from Magical Elves. So they were working with us at AfterBuzz on doing after shows and stuff. But have you heard anything? Will they do it again?
Oh, I hope they do. It's so good.
So good. Would you ever do one with yours? I know your face just went to a panic.
I mean, if they approached me and I understood what it meant, because I don't know how detailed, the answer is I would definitely be open.
I may make a recommendation.
Yeah.
I think I would take one of your smaller ones.
Yes.
Right, with a newbie. It's already happening anyway.
Yeah.
And let's do it.
Yeah. No, I think it would be a lot of fun. Look, my big thing is I'm a big promoter of getting film out there and letting people understand the process. So anything that I could put out there that lets people, understand how we work versus just a scroll of credits.
So do you mind if I make some calls?
Go ahead.
I mean, no, I really will.
No, Keven,
because
of course.
because the company that produces it.
Yeah.
No,
I would do it in a second,
especially
with you. Especially with you, because
I'd love to.
Your lead always has gone to the right place.
And letting Randall be Randall.
Oh God.
Yeah, but you do fight for the right thing. She wasn't fighting for the right things.
Yeah.
That's what bothered me.
The answer is 100%, especially because I love that Project Greenlight lets people who are not in our business understand that this is how it is. Yeah, it's a real slice of life.
I love it. I love it. I hate when people go, it's too inside baseball. I'm like,
oh,
bullshit.
come on. It's so good.
I love looking behind the curtain.
Oh,
okay.
it's so good.
So listen, we're 5 minutes over. We're gonna have to take us out of here. Randall, where do we find you? And then is there anything you want to throw out there besides power? What I mean?
Social media. Where do you find me? Oh, Instagram is Randall Randall Mogul. So MOGUL.
Right. Why wouldn't it be?
And Snapchat Randall Mogul. And I just got on that a month ago. So exciting.
Wow.
I love talking to myself on that thing. And that's it. I mean, that's where you find me for now. Yeah.
Okay. You know what, Randall? No, sit tight. We're going to say goodbye. So now we're going to have our own Lauren the Grass. And Lauren, why don't you, you know what? Why don't you come here? Sit here, honey. I'm gonna go sit with Randall.
Oh yeah.
So Lauren is gonna do a little bit of an acoustical guitar, sign off, a little abbreviation. Little shout out to the Sam Roberts Show. He does this verbally. We do ours musically.
Shout out to Adrian.
Yeah. So you know what, Lauren, you take us out of here, and you guys, please, info at Tomorrow's Show, at the Tomorrow Show. What else, Rox, do I have to tell them? We'll be back Monday.
TheTomorrowShow.com. We're here Mondays and Thursdays, 7 to 9 Pacific time. Make sure you tune in live. If you don't catch us live, then make sure you check us out on iTunes.
You guys, please make it a better tomorrow. Lauren, take it away, honey.
Love it, you guys.
Here we go.
What do we learn today? What do we learn today? On the Tomorrow Show, we're learning lessons today. Now Friday's for the men, don't make me say that shit again. And when you get an anal drain, it makes you feel so good. And Dr. Drew needs about 1 million zen. I meant to say yen, but I said zen. And Randall joined the crew. He is a self-made Jew. As a producer, he'll shelter your window and kick your smelly jacket too. But he'll pay it forward if you make it through 2 years. What do we learn today? What do we learn today? On the Tomorrow Show, we're learning lessons today.
Thanks for tuning in to The Tomorrow Show with Keven Undergaro. For guest bookings, questions, or comments, you can email us at info@thetomorrowshow.com. Be sure to follow us on social media and tell a friend about the show. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, your voice of tomorrow, wishing you a better one.